After weeks of speculation following Joe Biden's snap decision to step out of the race, Vice President Kamala Harris has finally announced her own running mate for the 2024 election. Days before the set date, Harris promised to announce her VP choice and was believed to be interviewing as many as 6 different options for the role, all white men with a record of winning over rural, white, or independent voters. Now Tim Walz will stand by her side ahead of the November 5 elections, kicking off the joint ticket at their first scheduled public appearance at Temple University in Philadelphia. So who is Tim Walz? How will he support Harris's campaign, and how will he square off against Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance?
You know, the super successful Donald Trump, who inherited $400 million and then proceeded to fail at everything, middle America, you earn it, but you know what? You're not on your own.
Tim Walz is a former U.S. Army National Guard member, a former teacher, and a former member of Congress from a Republican-leaning district. With a proven appeal to rural white voters, he has also championed progressive policies.
And I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
Dubbed America's fun uncle, the 60-year-old governor uncharacteristically has an appeal on social media, with recent videos of his being circulated among young voters. Walz served 12 years in Congress before becoming governor in 2018, gaining national attention for a strategy calling Donald Trump and J.D. Vance weird.
Don't, get sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. Listen to them speak. Listen how they talk about things. Listen to how your previous guests were right. Like you said, they've told them that they shouldn't talk about race. They can't help it.
A phrase that has since caught on with a number of Democrats, including Kamala Harris. 60-year-old led Minnesota through the 2020 protests over George Floyd's death in Minneapolis. He deployed the National Guard to help quell riots that broke out during the demonstrations. As governor, some of Walz's political accomplishments include ensuring tuition-free meals at participating state universities, enshrining abortion rights into state law, banning conversion therapy, and providing protectors for gender-affirming care. He defended the move against right-wing criticism.
So for those out there who are wondering, aren't there something else you could be doing at the Capitol? Or it doesn't seem to impact you in your life? This is what it means to show empathy. This is what it means to be welcoming.
Walz first ran for office in 2006 in a Republican-leaning congressional district, knocking off the incumbent in a major upset. He kept the district until 2016, dispatching Republicans over and over again. In 2018, he ran for governor and won, defending the seat successfully for another 4 years. Walz's opponents have criticized his handling of the COVID pandemic and the 2020 protest, with Minnesota GOP chairman David Hahn recently telling Fox that he believes Mr. Walz was fearful of alienating his progressive base. Similar to J.D. Vance, Walz has a penchant for Diet Mountain Dew.
Fine, and the lady next to me says, well, I'm not voting for him, but I'm taking the cookie.
Squaring up against Trump's VP nominee could come naturally to the Minnesota governor, who has already publicly called him out as weird. Together, the pair will begin their tour at Temple University in Philadelphia, and the rally will kick off a 5-day, 7-city tour of battleground states likely to decide the election. The newly appointed Veep candidate will be tested as Senator J.D. Vance spends this week chasing Kamala Harris across the map of battleground states to counter-program the Democratic presidential candidate's campaign.